morning and welcome to a very important day for the University of North Carolina at Asheville and an important day for the economy of our region. Today we announce that the University of North Carolina has authorized UNC Asheville to proceed with development of the National Environmental Modeling and Analysis Center, or NEMAC, on our campus. This center will be home to a series of program initiatives that will enhance our already superior undergraduate research program, particularly in atmospheric science, environmental science, computer science, management, and math. And the center will also encourage, very importantly, significant collaborations between our university, the private sector, and other educational institutions that will draw on the rich data available through the National Climatic Data Center. And finally, through our collaboration with the private sector and other institutions, we will help to spur knowledge-based jobs in our region. This announcement is at once about a liberal arts college focused on excellence in the community, its service to community, and on fostering the economic and cultural life of our community through the excellence of our academic program. We are in the position we should be in, a national leader in classroom innovation and a leader here at home in Asheville and in the surrounding area, substantively helping to lead our economy to a stronger competitive position. So to all who have worked together so very hard to make today a reality, to build yet another partnership that supports our region by drawing on the best of our liberal arts tradition, I offer the most sincere thanks and our commitment to continue to do our part as your university. And now we're very honored that we've got a series of individuals who we would like to call forward to offer comment. And first is Richard Faulkner of Congressman Charles Taylor's office. And as I call Richard forward, I want to say thank you on behalf of the University of North Carolina at Asheville and on behalf of this community, I believe, for the efforts that Congressman Taylor is taking to support this initiative, the programs that will comprise this initiative, and the programs that are doing so much to enhance the knowledge-based economy of this region. Richard, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Chancellor Mullen. I'll just make a few brief remarks. I'm mainly here today to express regrets that the Congressman could not attend this meeting, and I am sure he would like to be here for this announcement today, because it is part of many things that he has been behind for quite some time. There's no doubt that the program you're going to hear about today somehow has come out of his mind, his vision, and I want to give a little anecdotal story here about that. When Hurricane Floyd took place, people didn't have as much notice as that we would like for them to have to save property and animals. But a program like this may cause us and cause the National Climatic Data Center to be in a position to provide more up-to-date data, more information about floods, to give more time to residents in those low-lying eastern areas. That flood came 100 miles or so inland, and it was just too fast. But with better modeling and better equipment, we hope that this will not be the same in the future. So this was Charles's vision. I didn't know it was a vision 3 or 4 years ago when Floyd came, but that's what it's grown out of. But thank you all for being here, and I hope you enjoy the presentation. Thank you.
And now a good friend of all of us, I'd like to call forward the president of ERS, Max Lennon, who will describe for us the history that led up to this announcement. Max. Thank you.
Thank you. A couple of years ago, Congressman Taylor asked several of us to give him advice on what we could do to enrich the economy. Obviously, plant closings and the negative news that we hear is a stimulus to rethink what you're doing. Based on considerable experience, we believed, and we still believe, that one of the things that you can do is to bring partnerships together that include the federal government, in this case the National Climatic Data Center, which is an incredibly valuable resource, an educational institution, University of North Carolina at Asheville, and the private sector. And having been there before, I can tell you there's an absolute magic that begins to happen when the scientists and the teachers come in contact with a real person with a real problem. And they look for solution. And the students that are involved are invigorated, and guess what? They develop solutions. The first private sector company that we contacted when we were beginning to plan was Dr. Wilson, who was with Barron out of Huntsville, Alabama. We're fortunate, and I need to point this out for us, because he has developed partnerships like this before when he was with NASA. So it's extremely important that we shape this correctly so that we don't interfere with each other. That is, each agency, each entity has its role to play, but together we can put together the magic. And Dr. Wilson and I agreed readily that it's going to be absolutely essential that we bring the Atmospheric Sciences Department at the University of North Carolina at Asheville into this operation so that we can have the stimulus of objectivity and the creative genius of students involved with these problems that we're going to be dealing with. So I met with the chancellor, and he readily agreed, and I really want to give you and your faculty high marks for the incredible work that you've done in a relatively short period of time to enable us to move through your university system and get approval to start this program. But it's been a real joy for me to meet with all the bright folks that are involved, and I look forward to what's going to happen, because we will be able to interface between the federal government, the university, and the private sector, and the private sector will flourish, and that's called jobs, which is what Congressman Taylor wants. Thank you, Chancellor, for your great leadership.
Thank you, Max. I remember several times when we sat and were thinking this all through, and I appreciate your wisdom and the strength that you brought to helping us achieve this day. I also want to just note that there are a number of student researchers here. Undergraduate research at the University of North Carolina at Asheville is one of our hallmarks, one of the programs that has achieved national distinction and will be so much a part of what we are going to be able to do through NEMAC, the kind of opportunities that we will offer students to provide research that is not only important to their career, but important to a knowledge-based economy and important to this region. And I just want to always say to you all how very proud we are of the extraordinary work that you do as undergraduates making a difference in creating knowledge that's important to this area, and I want to thank you for that. Now I'd like to introduce a very important partner of this initiative, and that is Tom Carl, who is the director of the National Climatic Data Center. And I think, as I acknowledge those students, that we're going to provide some wonderful opportunities using the data that the center provides, and I'd love to invite you forward to say a few words.
This is a long time overdue and coming. I think this is going to be a marriage made in heaven, to be honest with you. We've had a long partnership with UNC Asheville. We've had many students work through the Atmospheric Sciences Department, actually ended up working at the National Climatic Data Center many years, had summer students come on and work and help us. But we always missed one opportunity, and that was trying to bring together us in a more common focused area of joint partnership. And now with the help of the congressman and working with Max, we've had this opportunity to try and look at how can we take the enormous amount of data we have, the investment that we have put in terms of all the observations in this country and abroad, bring together the private sector whose goal is to try and turn those observations into something that's very useful for individuals across the country. And then working with the university here, the science, the new ideas that come about with the invigorated students that are here, really, I think this is a great opportunity, and I'm very, very happy that we have this opportunity now to link together, sort of hold hands and move forward. One of the things that I think is going to be most interesting to watch, the NEMAC environmental modeling is in the name. This marriage between looking toward the future and explaining the past, the data that we have, environmental modeling to try and help prevent the types of floods that we know were brought about with Hurricane Floyd. So we think this is a great opportunity, and we really look forward to working with all the partners. Thanks.
And as I said earlier, one of the very significant parts of this initiative is the opportunity for your liberal arts college to partner and to collaborate in important and significant ways with the private sector. I'd like to invite Greg Wilson forward, who's the president of BAMS, who was mentioned earlier by Max, who has been, again, a great partner as we have developed this program, which at once will serve the needs of this region, but also, as I said earlier, help to create jobs for Western North Carolina. Greg, would you come forward?
Thank you, Chancellor Mullins. It's really a pleasure, personal pleasure, for me to be able to stand before you today and talk about the opportunities that exist in the private sector in the area of the weather technology business. It may not be completely obvious to everyone here, but about a third of the U.S. economy is weather sensitive. That is, things that go on in our daily lives and the business world are dependent upon the natural environment, both in the past, as Carla said, in terms of climate, as well as prediction into the future. And so as this economy moves forward and as the Asheville area grows, we're going to see, as a result of this NEMAC, the growth of a weather industry here in the Western Carolinas that will be promoted by the cooperation between the university here in this region, the government activities that you see, and the private sector. As I stand before you today, I'm a private sector weather technologist. I receive my funding from the selling of products and services to the United States economy, and I think we'll see an expansion of that as time goes on. Just a couple of words about the company that I currently run is Barron Advanced Meteorological Systems. This is a subsidiary of Barron Services in Huntsville, Alabama. It primarily serves the television industry and aviation industry, as well as transportation with real-time weather information and displays. That includes weather radars that we manufacture and sell to television stations, as well as display systems that all of you have seen on television. We're currently resident at almost every television station in the United States. And this new company that will be here in Asheville will focus on advanced systems that will service hydrologic users and urban planning users and other transportation and aviation parts of the economy. So to do that job, we simply can't operate in a vacuum. We have to operate in partnership with the intellectual capabilities and the data available within the federal government. These powerful partnerships are what makes a company like ours come to Asheville, because we are well received by the partnerships, and they form the basis for us to develop the technology that new products and services will be developed from. And so today, we're going to announce, from our company standpoint, an initiative to move forward with the president and the university on joint research programs between our company through NEMAC and NCDC that will promote their mission as well as the commercial mission of this area. We do have on my left over here a display that's our most advanced commercial display system for both the observed and prediction capabilities that we currently are selling into the industry. And at the follow of this particular event, you may want to go over and talk to the people operating that or take a look at it on the screen. It's one of the examples of how technology developed jointly between the private sector and the universities, as well as the government, can come together and serve the U.S. economy. So to conclude, it's really an exciting thing. We've all worked very hard to come to this point, and I'm sure that as time goes on, this community will benefit greatly from having an expansion of this type of technology and the companies that will come along with it. So again, thank you very much. Thank you.
Greg, thank you. Thank you for your commitment to this region and to this university. It's a special joy for me to introduce the individual who will say a few words next. He is known now as our Chief Research Officer and the Acting Director of NEMAC. But all of us at the University of North Carolina at Asheville know him for the great record that he has built as a professor, as a scholar, as a founding force for undergraduate research at this university. And someone who from day one on NEMAC and on so many of these other now exciting partnerships that we are building has been a driving force. And on behalf of his university, I just want to introduce him by saying thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor John Stevens.
Colleges and universities have the responsibility to develop and maintain the intellectual capital for society. In the academy, we use this intellectual capital to educate our students and to extend scholarly activities for our faculty. Centers provide a dynamic environment in which to develop this intellectual capital. The centers at UNCA reflect our values as an undergraduate liberal arts institution. NEMAC is no exception. It is focused on multidisciplinary, as you've already heard, involving atmospheric sciences, environmental sciences, computer sciences, management, and mathematics at this time. These multidisciplinary are used to develop systems that can mine huge databases and also develop new models. The collaboration of different work cultures is another important component of the centers. In the case of NEMAC, UNCA faculty and students will work closely with the government, in this case the National Climatic Data Center, and with industry, Barron's Advanced Meteorological Systems, to bring together resources that can understand and address today's environmental problems. As a result of these collaborations and this multidisciplinary approach, we can solve problems that would otherwise not be possible, while at the same time creating a natural flow between research and education within the midst of our academic environment here on campus that benefits both the students and scholars. Many contemporary problems, both in society and in basic research, are only going to be solved through this approach. Centers such as NEMAC also enable UNCA to enter into the co-development relationship with other players in the local community to solve problems which also will have a positive impact on this region. NEMAC will help to fuel the development of a knowledge-based economy in the Western North Carolinas. Thank you.
And finally, I want to introduce our Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Mark Padilla. I think when this all started, Mark actually was hoping that the end result of this would be at least partly an easier way for him to make snow calls about whether or not to have classes, and that may be a benefit of this. But Mark would like to join us and say a few words about, building on what John and others have said, the impact on UNC Asheville faculty and students. Mark.
Yes, the ability to predict the weather at 5 in the morning and hence cancel classes or not is my primary interest in this project. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to reflect briefly on the important impact that the creation of NEMAC will have upon UNC Asheville's faculty and students. It is my not so humble view that this event will be looked back upon in the annals of the history of higher education as a groundbreaking moment in realizing the significance and value of public liberal arts education. We are not redefining liberal arts in a way that threatens its core mission, a mission I hold dear to my heart. Rather, we are here realizing one of the inherent but largely unrecognized possibilities of the liberal arts tradition. In short, I assert that the relatively young project of a public liberal arts college, as embodied by this great university, is now proving that it can create value in immediate, tangible ways to the economic vitality of a region, not only while serving its student body, but because it is serving its student body. First, let me indulge in a brief moment of personal satisfaction. It was roughly 13 months ago that, due to the suggestion of Dr. Lennon in a meeting in the Chancellor's office, that I attended a workshop on the topic of purchasing supercomputers, an event held at the National Climatic Data Center in the Federal Building here in Asheville. Just as Max anticipated, the event was replete with possibility for UNCA, and my excitement was only matched by a sense of uncertainty about the exact nature and scope of these possibilities. Something important was clearly happening, but what was it? In this complicated moment, I fortunately decided to call Dr. John Stevens, UNCA's new research officer and a strong visionary for the potential of UNCA's research capacities. I asked John to drop everything he was doing and brave the high level of security at the entrance of the Federal Building and attend the rest of the workshop with me, though I wasn't able to tell him why other than, "This discussion seems very important for UNCA, please help." I suspect I sounded distracted, and he was willing to come over as much to find out more about the initiative as to kindly shepherd me back to the more typical arena for a Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, the confines of a campus where faculty work is centered. Indeed, it was very important that he made this journey downtown, and my own sense of opportunistic dislocation proved prescient. Just as the UNCA Office of the President was about to call for its constituent campuses to develop or enhance its activities of economic development and technology transfer, so UNCA at the very moment was beginning an important partnership with industry and government-sponsored programs and entities. Dr. Stevens and I, in the last year, have spent many hours engaged in the development and implementation of the ideas associated with the umbrella organization of NEMAC. And I congratulate him and his many colleagues, both the faculty and staff of UNCA and our new members of the campus community, such as the eminent individuals who have just preceded me in this presentation. The impact on faculty has been significant already and will prove to be more so in the coming years. Faculty can exercise their considerable training and research areas even during this financially challenged time through the use of resources flowing in through the projects that NEMAC is successfully harboring in the bosom of our campus. Faculty can exercise their scholarly interests in ways that will advance their professional development, will fulfill their university obligations, and will bring recognition to their respective academic departments and programs. I reserve my final comments for the impact NEMAC will have on students by sharing with you a hopeful narrative of student, institutional, and regional success. Sometime soon, a prospective student and her family will identify UNC Asheville as a university of first choice, due both to our exceptional educational quality and value and because of the student's general interest in weather and environmental related topics. This matriculated student then enrolls in one of our new freshman seminars designed to introduce admitted students to the full array of curricular and co-curricular activities awaiting them. The topic of the seminar relates to environmental issues, and the student then elects to pursue a scientific concentration of studies, especially given our strong record of natural science education. As a further curricular step, our imagined student chooses, as part of her general education program, a program we now call Integrative Liberal Studies, a cluster of courses designed to bridge the social and natural science approaches that are focused on a significant problem or topic in the world, such as the phenomenon of global warming. Thereby, she understands that complex problems require a team approach to solve them, involving multiple disciplinary expertise. Whatever major the student ultimately chooses, her core educational skill sets are developed, and soon she discovers that she is in a position to conduct undergraduate research under the rubric of NEMAC, and thereby has the opportunity to contribute to the knowledge base of this interdisciplinary arena of data modeling. Next, an internship experience at a weather prediction services company recently located in Asheville, has been arranged by our newly configured and energized Center for Career Development and Community Partnerships, a unit which is now linked with core academic advising functions in academic affairs. Next, the student in a capstone seminar in their senior year completes a project that leverages all of the educational experiences inside and outside of the classroom. This project functions as a calling card for an entry position in the same company where the internship took place. As she rises in the ranks of this company, she then completes a master's degree in a related discipline through attending courses offered by the Asheville Graduate Center here on campus, perhaps offered through NC State University, our partner already in engineering curricula. This student then becomes confident enough to develop her own startup company, to realize the value of the data set application that she had been focused on, using the capital that has recently been attracted to the region. She licensed this proprietary intellectual property, a data set that she may herself have contributed to creating and mining as a student a number of years before. So she realizes the commercial value of this discovered idea, and in doing so hires 3 UNCA students who have just graduated. These 3 students, moreover, have followed a similar path to hers and served as her interns in earlier years. As the president of a new company, her employees under her continue the cycle of economic development, and the saga continues. Thank you for bearing with me, and most importantly, thank you for helping us to author this story of success.
Thank you, Mark. In conclusion, I'd just like to say that I think what we're about today goes back to the essence of what we have said through the years. We intend to be the best liberal arts college in the country. And to quote Max Lennon, to use his term, magic. The magic, the power that will allow us to do that comes from the faculty who are in this room who do magic every day in their classrooms, to the students who are sitting here, who are undergraduate researchers, who are taking the enormous lessons that are learned in those classrooms and translating it into knowledge that contributes to the betterment of this community and this region. That is what UNC Asheville is all about. The magic of the classroom taken to the new level by bringing the lessons of the classroom to the service of the community in the region. And that's, at the end of the day, what NEMAC is going to help us do. We'll be happy to stay here afterwards and take some questions, but again, thank you for sharing in a very important announcement in the history of your university. Thank you very much.